Hello and welcome listeners to another episode of Tactical Awareness. My name's Ash and I'm joined by my co-hosts Owen and Dan for Season 3, Episode 22's Infinity the Game, Heroes to Zeros. We're doing Yu Jing Prime. This is a faction breakdown series we're doing where we take every army list in Infinity the Game by Corvus Belli. We write one, we basically go through the models we selected, why we took them, and at the end we round up any stuff that was overlooked. So let's dive in right now, see how the boys are doing, and get this underway.
They breed like Pokemons. If you have a small child, they're going to come home every day with someone else's stolen Pokemon cards. And you have to try and figure out how to return them. That's just how life works. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the final Yu Jing Heroes to Zeros. I am back with the boys, and we are breaking down Yu Jing Prime, the OG, the State Empire, the mix and match vanilla soup of whatever you want to call them of Yu Jing that mixes units from all three factions. Although weirdly, there's some units that like I feel like there's some stuff that's underrepresented and some stuff that's overrepresented. Like I feel like Shang-Chi's are in every faction. Zuyongs are in almost every faction. Like there's some things that are just kind of everywhere.
I mean, it's why Invincible or Imperial Service is cool, because it's the only different one.
It's the only one that's like super different.
Yeah, they have like 8 unique units. Invincible Army.
Are any of them here? Are any of the Imperial Service units here, like the pheasant or the crane?
No. Well, yeah.
Pheasants
you have cranes,
yeah,
but
pheasants are here.
But all the new stuff, none of that overlaps.
Yeah, the Sujan's here. The
like the Cien.
here.
Cien is
the crane's
here.
not here though. I don't think. I don't see the crane. Nope, no crane.
I guess not. I guess crane is now unique.
Huh. Well, the long wings here though, baby. Yeah, it is the tag police, the Dominion tag police.
Sun Tzu is here.
Good old Sunny Sue. Major Luna's here on loan from Aristea, as well as the Gudan troops. Those Gudan, everyone's favorite not Zanshi.
I don't think there's one unique model in vanilla. That's only in vanilla.
That's only in vanilla? No, I don't think so either. Looking down this list, no, because there's no retired factions. That ended up happening in Pano because factions got retired, and so vanilla became the home of like the not Bagmaries, the Kamaus and stuff like that, right? The Crocman, who didn't have anywhere else to go.
O12 has unique stuff in its base.
Yeah, O12 has a lot of unique stuff.
Yeah, but
they only have 2 sub-factions.
It's the third newest faction, right?
Combined Army has like 25 unique models in its base.
It sure does. There's some weird shit in Combined Army. So what we do
Hack Islam has a pile. I'm just going to keep knocking Yu Jing.
Yu Jing is unique, and then they're not.
Can I start the episode now?
No.
Fuck. This is a series where we take different factions in Infinity N5, make a list, each of us, break down why we took what we took, and then round up any stuff at the end that we missed. And then, this is like the final episode. We've done the previous 3. We start off with Imperial Service, we did Invincible Army, we just did White Banner, and now we're finally doing some sweet vanilla Yu Jing. If you didn't notice, we've actually added some video element to this too for people watching this on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see me and Dan. Owen you don't want to see Owen's lair, so that's why we don't have cameras on Owen. The government might find him. So we are now diving in. We haven't decided who's going to go first. I went first last time. I don't know.
I've gone last every time.
Owen's going to go first.
Owen's going first, and he's going to tell us why he understands perfectly an army he has not and will not ever play. So throw up.
This army is whatever. You'll never play against vanilla, right?
You might. You might play against vanilla JSA.
I played against vanilla at Adepticon.
Enjoy. That's fine.
It was fine. You get a Haktao and a Sujan. They were
and those are great.
Big scaries. Not what I brought though. I brought tags.
What'd you bring? All tags. Perfect.
Cags, I guess.
Go on.
Sun Tzu, Lieutenant.
We do love a Sun Tzu in this house, don't we?
And then of course my long wing pilot, because I'm going to need him for my long wing.
Why'd you take Sun Tzu?
The Long Wang is the one to take.
Because I like
Have it right.
Sun Tzu's awesome. That's why I brought Sun Tzu.
Because he's
No, Long
three,
Wang.
because he's
Are we talking about Sun Tzu or Long Wang?
We're talking about Sun Tzu again.
Oh, never mind.
Because he's 3 Sun Tzus, that's why. He's 3 different dudes staying in 3 different
I mean,
places.
if he's solid in ISS, he's just as solid in vanilla. If anything, more solid in vanilla because you need more order efficiency.
Also, he's just
order.
really good, and it means that I can keep my Blue Wolf, the Long Wang, and the Fei Quan in reserve when we go to deploy.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, and then
3 models in reserve.
if I'm going first, I can just keep both tags in reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a Long Wang and a Blue Wolf and a Fei Quan, and those are my other 3 models. There's other stuff, but really, there's only those 3.
It's 4 Quang Shis for cheap orders.
I can't believe
So
you
like-
saw 2 tags and Sun Tzu.
Yeah. Look, and a plane.
2
And then
tags,
group-
a plane.
Group 2
Sun
is a
Tzu,
mech engineer with a bunch of Shaolins.
and his job is to keep the arms and legs on those things. You couldn't afford one of those Shaolins to become 2 Yao Zaos, so you can go and fix stuff. It feels like the
But I
Yao Zaos would be
have-
important.
I don't care. I didn't. We've got fast moving Shaolins and speedballs for that problem.
I was just gonna say, but you only need 2 Shaolins to get the smokes off perfectly, right? So
Not the way I roll.
I'm just saying you can do of them. If you want efficient Shaolins, you only need 2.
But if you duo
And
them,
then
you
get
have
2.
to spend command tokens to switch them to regular to make them not break.
No, you don't.
Right.
You just don't use their whatchamacallits. Aren't they regular?
So-
Oh no, they're not regular.
they're
in this
regular.
faction, are they?
They're regular.
Oh, because they're regular in
So you just do the impetuous and then
the
the
last
normal.
one. They're
That's the
regular in
same.
this one. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Regular in this one.
They're great impetuous smoke throwers. And
Sure.
then they have their irregular order to run back to reset to that spot and then throw another smoke.
Yeah. I mean, they're neat. But they're here just to fill points and throw smoke grenades.
Well, let's talk about the linchpins of this before we move on. Then, what do you like about the long line?
No, let's talk about the pilot because there's 3 pilot options.
Oh, there is. Which one are you taking? Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. They give +3
He
dodge.
didn't even look. He didn't even.
It doesn't matter. What's the cheap one? I guarantee you I took the cheapest one. Oh,
They're
there's
all the
2 that
same,
tie.
aren't they?
Well,
There's the Blue Wang. There's the Blue Wang that
but
has
you got to
terrain
pick
total.
who's getting it because only one of them get it, right?
No, everyone in the group gets it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Regardless of which pilot type you take?
Yeah, it just has to be in
Yeah.
the same combat group and they all get it from one pilot.
Oh, so the
Right.
names don't matter. It's just what equipment they have.
The names, the names don't matter. But
Yeah.
names
There's-
just to determine what equipment they have.
I brought the Long Wang one because he's got a gizmo kit and an adhesive launcher.
Yeah,
And he's
so you
the
got a
best
backup
one.
fixer. Well, they've all got gizmo kits, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
The other 2 have shotguns and submachine guns, which are considerably worse than the adhesive launcher.
And he's CC24, so why not?
Sure, with his para -6, go get him, big guy. I want you
it.
to go stun
Actually,
somebody.
not terrible. He can survive melee.
CC24 with Paramount 6 is pretty rad.
His job is so that if someone ends engaged with, I don't know, the Long Wang, because the Blue Wolf will just kill anybody who gets into melee like that. He'll walk over and tase him and get him off of the Long Wang. Be like,
Tases
get out
him
of there.
and stickies him afterwards.
Leave him alone.
He's got all the immobilizes
Dude, the long wing pilot is surprisingly way better than the other ones.
for less points. Yeah,
It's just 1 point difference. It's basically the same. But it's honest. You get an assault pistol, you get a para CC weapon -6, you have an adhesive launcher, and you get a bonus to your CC attack to kind of put you above into +4s.
like actual fighter range. Yeah,
Right? Compared to the other ones that are like submachine gun, light shotgun, terrain total, martial arts level 1, and then just shock. Well, it's just like, I don't know.
so you're hitting
Long
pieces
way,
are
clear choice. It's very inconsequential, but clear choice.
yeah. And well, which long wing are you taking? Because there's a couple of them too.
Mark 12 adhesive launcher plus burst. Hit him with those
So-
5 dice.
Burst 4/5. Yeah.
Yeah.
The BS stack -3 is so great because it's so hard to cancel. I think it's only what is it? Combat Instinct that gets rid of it. Or
No
is it
Warhorse.
Warhorse gets rid of it. Yeah, because they split up the
Yeah.
2 mods.
So Morats basically ignore it, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
Other than that, who cares?
he's
also
got an extra
adhesive
burst
launcher.
adhesive launcher. So he's got a burst 3 close range adhesive launcher if you really wanted to for some reason.
Mhm.
I like that he has an SR -1 riot stopper, which means you have to fail that fizz at -7 instead of -6,
Such a weird rule,
which
but
is
yeah.
a big reason why I brought him, because I thought that was fun.
Does it do the
What's
adhesive
that?
launcher too, which is funny.
It doesn't do it to the adhesive launcher. Oh, no, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Save -1.
Yeah.
And he's got a burst 2 adhesive launcher.
Yep. So, no, he's got a burst 3 adhesive launcher. They're normally burst 2.
Are they 2 base now? That's cool.
Yeah. And so now he's got a burst 3 adhesive launcher. I mean, again, you're just going to mark 12 them, but I don't know. Maybe there's something in there that you don't have time and you just need to like stay.
Or there's something that's already been whatchamacallit, like EM'd, and you want to stick it so it's just fully bricked.
Yep.
That I don't think a burst 5 SR or PS4 Mark
I'd waste
12
one
could just
order.
kill.
I'd waste one order doing it. Just to
I
make
like
sure
that he
the
has a
guys never come back.
biometric visor too. I think that's just
he's
a
a
neat,
cop.
like
He's looking for weed.
he can do that classified, which is fun. But yeah, solid just shooter piece, PS14 tag with many dice, and then his friend Blue Wolf, which is
There's only one Blue Wolf in this faction too. Just the AP Spitfire.
Oh, there is. Look at that.
Yep. And so you bring him because he's great, and he's just another 5 dice SR -1 guy.
5 dice AP Spitfire, which is horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's close to being the same as the SR4 Mark 12.
Mark
Like
12 only burst 3.
Is it only burst 3?
Yeah, 3 goes to 4. That's the difference. Mark 12 is basically
burst
super combi
4.
rifle.
That's right. That's right. I'm thinking that it's an HMG for some reason.
No, it's got the
HMG
strength of an HMG, but only the range of a Spitfire.
Oh, of course, it's only 3. All my turrets were only 3. It all makes sense to me now. I made this
My
list when I
cheating unit
cared about it.
malfunctioned. My cheating unit malfunctioned again. Sorry, guys.
And then the fake one, because we talked about it before, but EM
He's
plus
like-
2 burst and acrobat.
Well, that's what I was thinking was if you hit the enemy tag with the EM first off the fake one, and then adhesive him with the long wang, and then you can just kill him at your leisure.
The only thing I can think of is like
You
You don't have to kill him. You just leave him alone.
well, he
I
can
don't want
speedball
you-
it. If the guy bought a speedball, he get rid of it that way. But other than that,
the only thing I can think of is like I'm badly obliterating my teammate. I don't want him to go into retreat, so we switched to non-lethal.
Yep.
Like that's kind of where I'm at of like, why would I ever use these? Like the riot stopper, defensive, right? Like someone's up close, you spray him with
Sure.
the goo gun, and that's that. But the other one, like, I don't know, some incredibly niche. I have 1 order and don't think I can kill you, but you're something tough enough that I don't think I can kill you, so I would goo you. Maybe.
maybe it's just the 1/2 of EM and adhesive is very powerful. And if the guy doesn't have an
On
engineering
the tournament
speedball-
with ISS last weekend, I played against Steel Phalanx, and I had 4 of his models double immobilized.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
At
then-
Quote of the Carbonite, double immobilized Ajax. He just sat there screaming with his whip 12, not being able to do anything.
Well,
Part of
no,
me
well,
is-
if you double immobilize, you can't do anything at all.
Yeah.
If it was all hacking, it wasn't any
Okay.
sticky.
No. So that's just immobilized, isolated.
Yeah.
That's well. I guess he's all. If you're up 12, then you are stuck.
Yep.
But no, because if you're immobilized A and immobilized B at the same time, then you're only allowed to reset or dodge at the same time, which means you can't do anything. 2
Sure
thumbs
it
up.
does. But the fake one can do that by itself because it has an
Sure can.
acrolat and an EM.
Sure
And so
does.
it can do one and then the other if you really want to just shut somebody down like that.
Yeah, Acrolat's like ARO piece though.
Yeah, and it's disposable too. So like
The idea
nice
would
to
be
use the adhesive
you
launchers.
ARO when they come after you and you hit them with that. And then
Yeah.
on your active turn, you shoot them with the EM and put them down.
Yeah. Just cool to have on the list. I'm just pointing that out.
I do like how the flyer is completely non-lethal.
It is, yeah. It's a cop car. It's supposed to just be tasing the crowd. Stop resisting, you peasants. Long Wang of the Blue Wolf is Dan's list. Let's have Dan go next.
Yeah. You know, the Long Wang came. The Blue Wolf came first, so the Long Wang belongs to the Blue Wolf.
That's fair.
We kind of already knew that the Blue Wolf was packing, but you know, very similar list. I decided to go with the Dao Ying Lieutenant +1 order, so you don't get to Strategos, but the Long Wing has NCO. So as
And you
long
save
as
like 30 points.
Yeah, but you save 30 points, have some more things you can do with it. I brought the HMG because the Blue Wolf has Spitfire range, Long Wang has HMG range. So if you need to reach out a little bit further, you fight with Long Wang, or then you can fight with the Blue Wolf.
That tracks.
Yeah, Yu Jing Hacker. Again, it's Lieutenant Hacker, but again, he's hiding, he's in camo, and then late game he can do things and walk up and run around and do things. That's great. We got 3 Quang Shi, because why not, with the Celestial Guard Monitor. They can't link, but the Celestial Guard Monitor does have the Smoke Grenade Launcher, which is always great. The Long Wang Pilot, because I got 2 tags.
So you want this is the same one that Owen took?
Yeah, all the same there.
Yeah.
I threw in one of those Gudan with the submachine gun and zapper.
Interesting. I don't why he's so not in a good range to ever use any of those things. He's such a poor Delamy.
he's so what he's doing is protecting the tags, right? So he's got the 4 deployment +4, and so if I'm going second, then someone's going to come try to kill the tags, right? And the tags are hiding, so you got to come up close, and the Gudan's hanging out.
What about Long Wang? When he do the same job?
Or
Long Ya, sorry.
Kind of, but the Long Ya is you have to be at HMG range for the Long Ya weapons, and at that point they might still be in like cover or something. I don't know. Could be, but that's more points. Only 12 points.
It's
and he's got a zapper.
Sure.
You know, if it's another tag or something coming up, it's happened in one of my games. The lizard
hit him with the zapper. That's right.
He's like,
hit him with the zapper.
What was this? What is this?
What can men do against such reckless?
Nobody knows what the good, even though it's obvious because it's no mim. That's the only thing that has no mim as a camo marker. I think it's solid. I think
is the Blue Wolf hanging out with Crit? Is that the plan? Is he duoed there?
I can't remember. I think so, actually. I think
Crit Cockrum's in this list for some reason, and I know he's an engineer.
He can't. Yeah, he can go with the Blue Wolf.
Sure can.
So yes, I mean he's an engineer, but he's also a fighty piece. So the Blue Wolf is murdering things, and if things go wrong, Cochrane's there to back him up. Not getting the bonus dice or anything, but still just dragging around. He's your free speedball and
you can use your engineer order on that group then too to move them around, right? You get a heavy infantry NCO.
Oh, also, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so if the Long Wang dies too early, then you have another NCO piece in Cochrane. But he's also got +1 damage multi-rifle with BS-13.
Sure does. Chain Colt charges. So he can do a ton of the objectives. He's got a name, right?
Yeah.
So he's got long service.
He can do tons of objectives. He can fight people. And then Blue Wolf puts him into a good spot where he can actually do something with the multi-rifle.
He can't hang with the Long Wang, which is interesting. The Long Wang doesn't have a fire team profile here in vanilla.
No, just Long Wang's alone in his room.
Yeah, Guiji does and Blue Wolf does, and Cochrane can go with anybody, either of the 2 fire team styles.
Yeah.
So the Blue Wolf is the logical one to have him hang out with.
Yeah, and then group 2 is just mech engineer, flashball spot, another Gudan.
Love that guy. Love that guy.
So amazing. And then we got one little Sheldon.
Feels like your Gudans could be.
Arguably, I could, because I'm short on orders. I'm short by 1 order. So
your Shaolins could go down to not having DA close combat weapons to 5 points. You'd save 3 points right there, and then you could take
or get rid of one of the Gudans and put 2 Shaolins in or something like that. So there's some flexibility, but I made this list a while ago, and
here we are, and here we stay. It is the greatest hits.
I played with it once, and it did pretty good.
And what I'm looking at here is what's the mix, right? You've got the Long Wang and the Quang Shis from Imperial Service, the Dao Ying from White Banner, the Blue Wolf from White Banner.
The Dao Ying's from Invincible Army.
The Dao Ying's from Invincible Army. I think he's also in.
Nope, just Invincible Army.
Just Invincible Army. Is Crit in Invincible Army as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so Crit and him for Invincible Army.
Gudans are Invincible Army and White Banner.
And White Banner, yeah.
Mech engineers, whatever. and
I'm
everything.
just saying you've got a cool, like, I like your list because it's a blend. It's almost a third of each of them. You know what I mean? Like blended together.
Yeah,
Owens is roughly, and Owens is roughly the same. It's like
it's very similar list,
right.
You
You know what I
decided
mean? Like
to go
Imperial
way more
Services,
cheap
Sun Tzu,
middle
fake
stuff
one. Yeah.
with Sun
Well, it's
Tzu.
because they wanted Sun Tzu, yeah.
Yeah. So
Wanna
you
go
You've
first?
also got the
a little bit
Quanxis too, right? The Quanxis are the same. All
I
right.
want to go first.
Well,
I want to win that role. I'm going to go
I
first.
went.
Yeah.
I go first. I want to kill everything. I went the other direction. I went heavy infantry, no tags. So I have a bunch of fire teams. I got Bishi with 2 Zuyongs. I got Takaware Zuyong with a combi and Tinbot. And then I've got Takaware HMG. I've got a Shangji with a Shangji. These are both with firewalls, but one's got, with multi-rifles, but one's got the firewall -6. The other one's got hacking device. So I have a firewall hacker. I got my favorite Beast Hunter, the surprise attack -3 camo, deployment +8 inches, and his explosive plus combat weapon +1 burst, PS5. The High Tie heavy rocket launcher to hopefully get spotlights out from the Shangji and do some guided at some point. Dakabe Killer Hacker with Pitcher and Siren Mines to lay that up. Dao Ying Lieutenant with +1 order, the boarding shotgun, and also a hacking device. So I can just throw out all the hacking, a Liberto Mine Layer, and then 2 Shaolins to go throw smoke bombs and break boxes. And that's it.
Well, attack away.
A lot of Takaware. It's a lot of orders actually in Group 1, even though it's got 2 irregulars in there. There's 5 Takawares.
A Dokubi and a Hate. Wow,
Yeah.
that's wild. Who would have? Why would you bring those two?
But they don't
I
link
know,
in
man.
this one.
I
They
just
don't
They
link.
didn't
sure do. They're a duo
They sure
together.
do. Yeah, they're duo.
Can they?
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't get anything
No
for it.
no
but you
keyword,
can.
but you can still move them
Ah,
around. Yeah.
useless duo.
A useless duo.
Not like my blue wolf
Useless,
cockroach
like
duo. which is
clear
amazing.
liquors. That's right. Yeah. This is the greatest hits. Like that was my thinking when I was building this was like, how do I blend a bit of everything? Right. So Bishi and the Zuyongs.
And the answer is you play White Banner. Like
no, because
other than the
you-
Dao Ying. The
and
Dao
the
Ying is the
Zuyongs. You get Jujax, the Dao Ying.
the Zuyang.
That's right.
The legally distinct Zuzak.
You got
All
tackle.
Takaware, man. That's cheap. That's 60 points for 4 orders and 2 big heavy infantry guys, and they hit like a ton of bricks. I like him.
That's actually, I really like that, Harris,
Yeah.
because you get the 2 lieutenant orders and the
Yep.
2 tackle wares plus the 3. So it's like 7 orders.
Right? It's so many orders through the NCO. So yeah, I like that little link. I think it's just versatility, but all the teams are maneuverable because they're 2s and 3s. I actually can't. I have to choose if I'm doing duos of the Shang-Chi's. Oh no, because I get 2 duos actually, so I can still do I can do the High Tide Dokubai and the Shang-Chi's at the same time. But they're all really resilient because they're all firewall -6 for the heavy infantry guys, so it's really hard to fight through them. And then the High Tide's there and the Dokubei's there for their pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
I should try and fit in actually the Liberto could switch out for a Panglang just to reload the pitchers, which is probably what I would do if I rethought this a little bit. But other than that, I like the list. I think it's pretty versatile.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about vanilla. It's like you just have like so many options, but you're like, are the combos good? Are they not? I don't know.
I was the one that suggested the next major tournament we go to, we all play Yu Jing because Dan's already got the army done, and Owen and I could definitely force ourselves to paint small Yu Jing armies to go, and we just bring it back.
Or you just borrow.
Oh,
I have so many. I have
I was
8 painted Quangxi.
So you don't you definitely don't.
I would just borrow it. I don't want to.
I'm saying, I mean,
like
this edition 4, my list before.
I was gonna suggest we do some hobby shit, like make a display and do something cool. And Owen was just like, I would just use Pogs.
Owen hobbies only when necessary.
That's right. I borrowed Dan's models to play that tournament this past weekend.
I know you did. You're such a scumbag.
It was weird
Disappoints me
having
immensely.
Owen beat me with my own models. And I was like, you suck. You stupid.
I don't like.
How can I
It
hate
was
you?
so disrespectful. It was the greatest level of disrespect. Beating with your
Especially when it was like pitcher missile, HMG, pitcher missile.
I was like, my hacking never works. And he's like, don't hack. Hacking's bad. And he hacks and everything. Dude, he total controlled this game
have we
in
not
2 orders.
Owen has explained to you, don't listen to Owen. Everyone has explained to you, don't listen to Owen. Stop listening to Owen. Listen to yourself.
I don't listen. I don't listen to him.
Never listen
It's
to him.
annoying when
Everything he says is a lie. Even the truth
and then uses it, and it just rolls well and makes it good because he rolls well.
I know, but he says to never do things and then does them and just pulls the horseshoe out of his ass.
Right, that's the annoying part. That's what
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Good.
His pact with Satan is due to expire in 2030, so don't worry. We don't have to put up with this for much longer. What didn't we use? We didn't use Major Luna. We've talked about her before. She's a decent sniper piece, but she doesn't really fit.
There's nothing unique in this faction, so we've talked about everything.
Yeah, we didn't use the Zan Yings. I know that I'm just saying, like, what didn't we mention that you still have access to in this? That we don't have to talk about them, but we should just mention they exist.
It's funny that like the Zhang Ying pitcher guy, and there's Dokkaebi, and there's a clear winner.
Yeah, the clear winner for almost the same point value too. The Dokkaebi is 22.
Zhang Ying's more expensive. Zhang Ying gets
more expensive.
Zombie, immunity BTS, 6 cents.
Yeah.
So there's that.
A 6 cents hacker is extremely cool, but is it as good as a pitcher hacker Dokkaebi? Probably not.
Also, the Dokkaebi is a killer hacker with upgrade spotlight. Just the perfect hacker.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Does everything you want.
The only better hacker is regular hacker upgrade Trinity.
Well, hacker device plus.
No, Trinity. Regular hacker upgrade Trinity is also right up there.
You get
white device plus, sure.
I like white noise. I like white noise. I like jazz. Hundun we didn't take. Pheasants we didn't take. Silver snakes we didn't take, but they get tiger soldiers are in here too. The Hacktail's in here, and the Hacktail gets all his profiles too. He gets the NCO HMG. He gets the missile launcher +1 burst.
Yeah, this would be the. I mean, you can also take an Invincible Army, but I feel like vanilla is just hard to make fire. I mean, there's that one fire team that you built, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. But otherwise, they kind of struggle, just like most vanilla. And so the hack, anything that operates independently.
Yeah, it's going to go up in value for sure. Hadao's are in here. Shens are in here, which we didn't take either because they don't do anything linked. Because they're capped at 1, I think, and the Harris one. No, actually, you can't even link them. They're all alone. Hulangs are in here.
This is the only faction where your total reaction remote, you only get 2 instead of 3.
Yeah, you're broke apparently in this one. Sujan's. The Yen Hao's in here, although we didn't take him. Our big boy, AVA 2. But you only get 2 instead of 4. I think it was ISS was 4, right?
Yeah.
Or was it Invincibles? It was
Invincible. Invincible gets them.
Yeah, Zenshas are in here.
There's little symbols right at the top. You can just look at it.
I'm looking. No, I'm just trying to tell which one's which. Just trying to tell which one's which. The Gwages in here.
I just can't read.
I'm old, man. I'm
symbols. You don't have to read.
Going blind. Ninjas, salsas, guilangs, and everything else we took. Yeah, it's a good blend. I honestly think it's weird because the closest comparison always to Yu Jing is Pano. But just because the way releases worked in Infinity, Pano had so many more sub-factions that got axed that they then rolled things from them into Vanilla. It feels like there's a bigger list in Vanilla Pano. So while I think that this is a decent enough list, I don't think it shines compared to its sectorials the way that other vanillas sometimes can.
I think Vanilla does the all camo or majority camo best.
Okay, why is that?
Because if you're going all camo, you don't care about fire teams, right?
Sure. I was going to say the small fire teams it does best because it gets to mix and match from different factions.
But I mean, the fire teams that you made, you could make in Invincible Army.
But not in the same army. Could you do Zuyongs and Shanzis in the same army and the High Tai and the Dokkaebi too?
Not the High Tai and Dokkaebi. You don't get that.
You just get the change.
Everything else you get Invincible.
Do you get Bishi in Invincible? Yeah. Oh, she's an invincible character. That's right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so it's like them and your other kind of side piece doing things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I have a proposition. Besides that, we should all play next year at Cold and Carbonite. We should all play Yu Jing, which would just
getting Owen to play Yu Jing at Cold and Carbonite. When he's got
we'll start a GoFundMe. see who wants to make it happen. We can make it happen. If we buy the army for him and have someone paint it and pay them to paint it, then we'll get him into going.
Will he? Will he? Will we get a commitment? Today?
We'll find out.
Today.
And then my suggestion was going to be
no, there's no commitment. Did you hear?
There's no commitment. He's not. He doesn't commit. He didn't even commit to Colder Than Carbide to Adepticon until like the week before.
Dude, he's like, let me borrow your O12. Let me borrow your O12. I'm like, give him my O12.
Yeah.
He's like,
he's all snapped. It's all left forever. Because we're getting pretty deep, man. We've done Pano, we've done Yu Jing now, we've done Ariadna, we have done Combined Army, we've done Steel or Aleph, and we've done JSA. So all we have left is Nomads and Hack. And then if we done O12, we did do O12 too. We ended with O12 last time, I think. So I don't think we've done O12.
We haven't done O12 and 5.
Yeah. So O12 and then N2A. So my break suggestion was that we do Toha next.
Why?
It's just one.
Why comes to mind?
It's just one. Because it's just one. We just bang it out. Get it done. But the other options. So what we really need to decide is we could do it now or we could do it in between the next ones, like the next two, basically, because we only have 2 big factions left. But I was going to say we roll Toha onto doing O12. We do Toha and then we just jump right into doing O12 because then it adds up to 4 again, right?
I don't know if it justifies an episode, but I wanted to talk about Corregidor at some point.
We should just do. Why is that?
The anti-fund of Corregidor that has come out with that change to the bandit. I think that is. I think it here. I'll post.
Just talk about it now. We can talk about it later
enough.
when we do the episode, but you just talk about bandits.
Fair enough. So
bonus content.
In order to resolve the bandit booty camel marker thing, like when do you roll booty? They got rid of booty, but then they got infiltration reroll as a skill.
Yep.
And they have access to mine layer deployable repeater. So I just posted a list that I've been had in my brain and have played against similar versions of this. In the spirit of what the gameplay experience is when you play Infinity and like the gotchas that exist in this game of like a guy comes out from behind or a guy like reveals a model or something like that. This is, in my opinion, the worst thing that has ever come out of all of those.
Okay.
In just the sheer, I could play this. I have all of these models too. Like the thing is like, so what do? So the list for people who are listening: Bandit Mine Layer with a Gator, a Mobile Regatta Lieutenant with Firewall -6, who links with Jazz and Billy, or just Jazz. Doesn't matter. Just Jazz is enough because that gets you access to the firewall on her hacking device plus.
Yep.
You got Moran repeaters who are out in the midfield dropping koalas. You've got a Jaguar and you've got a reloader guy.
Who are also repeaters.
Yeah. And then group 2, I brought Lobos and Diablos because I happen to like them. But more relevant, you have the missile bot. The Diablos are regular when the Lobos there, for the record. Yeah. So you've got all your orders, and essentially what happens is you roll off and you win the first turn. Maybe you don't, but in the first turn is the one that is particularly egregious. I spend a command token, or don't, because I guess I'm going first. So I have 1 bandit in reserve, and I roll my infiltration on a 10, re-rolling, and then again on a 10, re-rolling after the reserve to deploy a guy and a mine, a deployable repeater, which notably can go near mines, right? Or near camo markers, right? Because it's not a mine. Which means I can put it right on your deployment line. Which means if you don't deploy 4 inches from the table edge, or if you deployed greater than 4 inches in, Jazz can hit you with a whip 14 firewall -6, either Trinity SR -1 if you're a hacker, or a spotlight. And then I can missile you right off the get-go with no orders spent other than just the hacking attempts right from the get-go. And I think that's really silly. I think that...
you can do it with pitchers too. Like, it's kind of always been possible. It's a little more order efficient doing it this way, but you can also beef all your rolls.
There is a There is a gameplay mechanic of the pitchers, though, where you have to move and you have to see things, and the table matters and the terrain matters.
Yeah. My layer
and
gets
things
around
like
all
that.
for sure.
And it gets around all of that. And then to even further, then, if you do want to make it where you have to spend points after that, that bandit, if they, for whatever reason, did deploy within that 4-inch strip, could walk forward after being held in reserve and put down a repeater. And the whole thing happens again using its irregular order.
Nothing.
And I don't like this. I think that hacking is already pretty powerful. Like the guided missile launchers and stuff like that is already a pretty strong ability. And Corregidor was pretty strong because of the Morans, who are solid pieces. And now they've come out with this new guy who he has like a 75% chance of landing. And then you have a second one. So you get 2 instances of 75. It's 80-90% likelihood of this working on at least one of them. And so, like, if I look back at any of the lists that you and I have
50
made,
and 50, which is
it's 50 reroll, which
is
is 75%.
50 and 50 is 75%.
Sure, okay.
Because the fail state's 50, you take half of that, it's 25. You add it onto the original.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you do that twice, right? So 2 instances with up to 75%.
So then you take
maybe
25,
you fail them all. Sure.
You take 75% of the 25, and then add on to 75, and that's it's like 90. It's in the 90s.
And you still have a pitcher reloadable thing on Jazz. Like, it's not like that goes away. You still have the power that like the Dokkaebi and those other guys had. Only instead of them having to like watch out for deployment and hidden models and things like that, you just get it right from the get-go.
What has two primary advantages? One, your opponent won't see it coming because it's not open information. Two, you might just get this pre-game with no orders actually spent, and then just be able to go clean order pool right into it and start doing like an active turn missile run up. Right. So yeah, I mean, and yes, you can do that. You'll have 5 orders in group 2 to try and land missiles after you do the active turn hitting. It could be really powerful.
And you have a tag. Like, you're still a Gator. Still a multi-HMG Gator hanging out in there with his mine dispenser. So, like, I don't know. The thing that I find so frustrating and like that I don't like about this particular change is the turns, because like repeaters, I feel like need some kind of limit, whether you can like attack them when they're used as a repeater or something like that. Because once you land the repeater, which is the hard part, like it's the challenge to be able to get that pitcher in a position where he can shoot it and land it and not die on the way, whether it's because there's snipers watching or maybe a hidden guy or whatever. These guys just negate that. And they're the only thing that does, other than it is true that other deployable infiltrating mine layer repeaters, which there are like 3 maybe, could roll the fizz checks to try and do it. But generally they all have bad fizz. And these guys who would otherwise have a bad fizz make up for it by re-rolling. And I think it's a very strange change. Like, I don't know.
I think it's just an unforeseen consequence. Like, you cannot like it. You're just pointing it out. Like, I just think it's a thing that
now everybody knows. Thanks, Owen.
Yeah, sure. Everybody knows that one faction can have a gimmick for active turn hacking in the beginning. And
honestly, pitchers,
all it takes is one update to make those into shock mines, and it just goes away. And that's probably what'll happen.
The pitchers are like 50-50, whether you get to throw them where you want them or the terrain is a little too complicated and there's enough arrow pieces preventing you to. Like, you're just getting it done with pitchers anyways, and sometimes you can't.
This is a cross-table version of 100%. Yep, it's a cross-table version of Morans.
But you still have to roll it. You still have to pay them. Like, they're not.
I'm not gonna say I don't think it's as dire as. I think you can make a negative play experience if everything goes right. I think for sure you're right about that, Owen. I think it won't go right as often as you're afraid it's going to, personally.
I mean, Owen did call that turrets were poison, and everyone's like,
"Yeah, they weren't good. They weren't good." We all did, Dan. We all did at the very beginning of the edition before we even started playing. The rules came out and we all lost our minds over the fucking turrets. Like, that was the first thing all 3 of us pointed out, was making new models in a game and then being able to get more free models over the course of the game. Like, we spent that whole first episode trying to figure out how many we could make in a game. That was just immediately where all of our brains went. So,
I think this is much worse than the turrets. I would rather.
I think if it becomes a problem, then they'll just turn those into mines and it'll be done.
Yeah, it's more doable that way. if you make them just regular mines instead of repeaters. Because like if this guy, because he has other profiles, obviously, like there's hacker versions of him that are a little bit more expensive, which would be a very similar, but now he's got to hack you, and now it's like a fight, right? You can defend against that. The problem is the fact that it's just a pitcher essentially. Like it's
a turn zero. It's a turn zero attack layup. It doesn't cost you any orders,
and can go anywhere. Like, because it doesn't need line of fire, so it can go on rooftops that are nearby and stuff like that. They could
kill the reroll and make it a huge gamble, at which point, if you fail that reroll, you got 50 points of guys just sitting on your back line doing nothing, which sucks.
It's only that they have the reroll. Like, it's a sum of all of their parts, right? Like,
or make them
you could get rid of any part of this.
Yeah, one of those two things fixes it. I think it's fine. And if it becomes an issue, they probably will, because they're great at doing those little tweaks. It's a super minor tweak. Like, it was a minor tweak to fix the interaction. It's as minor a tweak to just change the equipment or change the skill. I think infiltration reroll is cool. I think that's a cool skill. Not a lot of things have that. So I think
don't know if anyone does.
I think getting rid of the deployable repeaters and just making it another variation of mine, because he has shock mines too, right?
Yeah.
Or just kill the repeater and turn it into another kind of mine.
Yeah, you could do that. Like, I definitely can see solutions to not have it in the state that it is. All I was trying to call attention to was that I think that, and I only bring up the negative play experience because somebody mentioned that to me not too long ago in our local community about some list that I made that was a described skew by other people, and they're like, yeah, that's what the kind of thing you want to play into. And I'm like, I can think of way worse things in this game, and this is one of them. This is like, this is maybe you know about this because you have a friend who plays Corregidor, and maybe that person is the kind of person that would like recognize that you can do that. And eventually they would, of course, because like that's just how it works over time. But like, you're going to go to an event and you're going to line up your models and you're going to deploy your Zhangxi lieutenant, who can only be your lieutenant because I look at your list. And then my reserve guy drops right in front and I just missile you right off the top. Turn first order, I spotlight; second order, I missile, and there's nothing you can do about it. Unless you deployed differently, there is no defense. Your only defense is to hope that he wasn't in range to start.
But even if they can just suicide and walk up and won't drop a repeater, and then you lose in a regular order.
Well, he's also in camo. Like, it's not like it's suicide. He could just wait a second. Like, it's worse than that. It's not just a suicide, but you could choose to that. You could choose to suicide it. But what I'm saying is purely that, like, so like if I look at Ash's list above here, so Dao Ying has camo, so you're okay. But like my list, Sun Tzu might live just because he's got immunity, but it's still looking bad, or more likely he just kills either of my tags. Even just doing isolate and immobilizes on them, because like spotlight missiles is one thing you can do, but there's nothing stopping you from just hitting them all with.
What also means that the whole first turn is screwed up from them just having to walk through a million arrows.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing too, is like, so you go, okay, other situation, you didn't win the roll and you go second. Well, now you just have to walk through a super powerful hacker off deployment who's in your net on turn 0, and they could have put it anywhere after you deployed.
It's been like, fuck you forever.
Yeah. Including deploying your reserve models if they're going second. They'll see where everything is. So anyway, that's a thing that's on my mind.
That's your rant.
The only other fun one I thought that would make it even spicier is you could bring a Wildcat hacker. You'd have to shift around somewhere. Like, you could change up the Diablos to be cheaper things instead of the Lobo and the Diablos, because he has combat instinct, which means you can't even stealth around the repeaters. So you'd have to move. He would try and hack you. You'd then reset, which would prompt the other hackers to go after you as well. So that's a thing too. And the same faction could do it 5 times if they wanted, but they won't do that.
So many times.
Yeah, they have so many ways to hack you, though, unexpectedly. Like parachuters, repeaters, lots of pitchers. Like, they were already hacking you no matter what.
I think this is just it's one thing if a guy like parachutes in a guy, or he moves over and shoots a pitcher at you or something like that, because like those angles are common and they cost
limited supply borders.
Yeah,
and this is a completely free layup start of the game without you haven't done anything. And I fully agree with you on. I just think that one, I don't think it's going to be as popular as it needs to be to make it like a fucking problem. And 2, if it becomes a problem, it's a super, super easy fix.
Right.
So I think it'll suck for somebody at some point, probably.
Bring a camo lieutenant. If you're playing against Corregidor, camo lieutenant, or make sure you deploy within 4 inches of your table edge. If you do those 2 things, you have a chance of not just instantly dying.
Hide.
And also, you won't instantly die. There will be several layups that have to happen.
Yes, they will have to land the
You gotta fill your saves.
incredibly powerful spotlight.
It's not incredibly powerful because the spotlight doesn't apply the firewall. You're not hacking them back. You just reset.
Okay, but spotlight is still a multi-burst damage 5 AP weapon.
Sure.
Which is scary. Also, the fact that they can just white noise through that off the deployment is also pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
But
if
I mean,
you have
you
your
can white noise. The thing is, the Morans let you do that already, and the Morans will cover the entire table. You can put a white noise to block a line anywhere, basically, through a Moran.
Yeah,
And there's no roll required for that at all.
Yep, just another one on that list. Like, I don't know. I made that rant about when we talked about Adepticon, where I was like, I don't know why you wouldn't just play Corregidor. They're just great.
I didn't. That's because I didn't want to pack them.
No, I know you didn't. I'm not saying you as in like you individually, but you as in like people I played against who brought Tunguska instead of Corregidor. It's like, but you could just play Corregidor.
That's right. You could. Absolutely.
Everybody knows whoever plays Nomad is a weeb.
It's
All
true.
right, settle down. All right. Well, I'm saying I guess we don't know what we're doing next because we've done this bandit rant now. Have you decided on what factions we're doing next?
There'll be a happy surprise for whoever tunes in.
I don't want to talk about Toha.
You want to talk
cares?
about you do or you don't?
I do not. I'd rather talk about
ZEROES.
No, shut up.
We'll just do Nomads. Because you're already talking about Corregidor.
Yeah, Nomads? I know nothing about Nomads. I've played against them plenty.
That's the reason.
Half the things that Owen just talked about, I'm like, I don't know.
Perfect.
Nomads.
That's a reason to do it then.
Educate
Dan.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then we'll do, I guess we end on O12 and Toha. Because we have to do Assassins after that. Because Owen and I have both played a lot of Hackazan at this point.
I already played and retired Hackazan this season.
I know.
This edition.
That was last season. No, it was in 4. That's not.
No, it was N5. It was this year.
N5.
It was like 3 months ago. I played it and then went, okay, well, that's the end of Assassins.
That's right. You did. Oh, I played them the year before that. That's right. I played them in 4. I played them in 4. That's right. All right. Well, then we'll see you for, I guess, Nomads next week. Dan, get reading.
Hey, we're doing Corregidor first. You want to copy that list?
It will be Corregidor first. Yeah. It'll be the same list 4 times. All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.